Hey everyone, it is Jane Mann, and today I'm going to go over just a general kind of Anma treatment you can do. This past weekend, I taught a class, and this was the cover of the class. And I love this cover because you can see the vascular, the nerves, just all of everything, the lymphatics running through our face that we just have no clue about unless you're in the industry. And fascia has a way of creating or replicating a pattern of our habitual movements. And so one thing I thought I would talk about today was the fascia band that runs along the jawline and even can go down. We have another band along our collarbone, but kind of what we see, what is the visual clue we see on a face when there may be restricted fascia. Now, I know as an esthetician, many times we'll be doing maybe a certain massage movement. And one of mine is I kind of go to the chin, up to the cheeks and up. And sometimes when I come up to this area in the mentalis, I will find the corners of the mouth pulling down. It's like it just fights this area. That is a kind of a feeling, tactile clue, and also a visual clue when you really see the corners of the mouth of a client pulling down. So what I tend to say in my classes, and I'm sure that there's always going to be room for error, this is a person that typically represses their emotion a lot. And so they hold a tremendous amount of tension in the oris, orbicularis oris region. And this tension of this constant pulling down actually creates a fascial adhesion around the mentalis, ultimately around that jawbone, which can also kind of travel down the platysma. So when we work the Anma in these areas, there's so many different ways to address this. So first I'm going to address the layman for the clients that are not estheticians that like to use the Anma. How would you use it, or how would I use it as a layperson? So the first thing is always, I love to just brush the tissue. And I'm using what I call a level one. And a level one is just fairly gentle. I'm just going over and creating circulation, microcirculation, and hydration in this region. And you can go all the way around, because remember, this band actually goes back into the occiput area, which is kind of that hump. So you can always kind of go in and loosen up that area, and it feels oh so good. So I use the Anma going this direction, I use it going this direction, all the way across. And then what I would do is I probably would just start to scrape upwards. Now, this does a lot to feel good, but is this going to melt the adhesions that have developed along the jaw region? And basically, no, it's not. I mean, it feels good, but if the adhesions have gone around the bone, this is a far more painful process. And if you're into pain, then I will show you, how you can do that. But one thing is you almost have to just grip the handle, and you have to just kind of move up, holding. And I always kind of anchor, and I'm almost pressing into the handle of the Anma, and I'm just holding. And this is where you're really going to want to hold for about 90 seconds up to 3 minutes to get some kind of softening. Now, different feelings that you start to feel is sometimes there's a burning sensation, sometimes there's a melting sensation. You almost feel as though you're releasing a grip of adhesions along this area. Every now and then I will have my client engage with me, kind of holding and having her really push against the obstacle in this case, the handle of the Arma. And I'm really going in, and you know, fascia isn't a linear tissue. It's omnidirectional. So really depending, it could kind of go out this way, it can go down. So it's really important that you do this daily to get these kind of adhesions moved, but it can absolutely be released. Now, as a professional, I teach in the class to really kind of dig in and typically taking the fingers and just going in deep into this tissue. And you can also do this, those of you that are home users, you can also do this, but with the fingertips, you really can feel kind of bypassing the various layers. And as you're pressing in, the relationship between your fingers and that tissue becomes very, very apparent. And then I just slowly start to navigate through that tissue at a sloth-like pace, because we're actually letting the body release and acquiesce for those fingers to start moving. So the jawline is a very common place for fascia to adhere along the bone, pulling the lower face down, even sometimes creating a double chin and trapping in fat. I hope you enjoyed just this brief little explanation of using the Arma. Anytime you are done working the deep, always kind of go back and brush over the whole face, because when we release here, we're actually releasing in other places and creating change. If you have any comments or questions, please post them below. And I need always content articles that you guys are interested in me posting about. Until my next video, happy Armaing.